I was halfway through branding a bowl when I got the notification. My water bill had tripled. Not double tripled. I figured maybe it was a glitch. Maybe the water company's computer had heat stroke. But nope, the numbers were real. The town said I'd used over 23,000 gallons last month. That's more water than a Baptist summer camp in July. Only problem? I live alone. My cattle drink from the creek and my crops barely sip once a week. Unless my dog, Little Duke, had learned to take 20-hour showers, someone was stealing from me. And out here in Texas, theft isn't just illegal. It's personal. It didn't take long to find the leak. I was walking the fence line near the back pasture when I saw a shimmer in the grass, sunlight bouncing off something man-made. I kicked aside some hay, and there it was, a bright blue hose snaking through my property like a liar at a church picnic. It stretched under my barbed wire fence and disappeared into the hedge bordering my neighbor's estate. When I say estate, I mean the kind of house you'd expect in Beverly Hills, not next to a cow pasture. Roman columns. For satellite dishes. A decorative fountain the size of a swimming pool. The owner? Nadine Ashcroft, the newest neighbor in the subdivision the HOA jammed up against my ranch 5 years ago. Nadine was the kind of woman who thought the world owed her curb appeal. She wore silk scarves to watch her gardener mow her lawn and filed complaints about the smell of agriculture, like manure wasn't nature's original cologne. She'd already filed 3 HOA violations against me. Once for flying too many American flags, once for letting my rooster crow before 7 a.m., and once because she didn't like the way my barn glared at her pool cabana. I didn't need a detective badge to put it together. That hose was hers, and she was siphoning my well water like a thirsty bandit with a superiority complex. I slung that blue hose over my shoulder like a python and marched to her front gate. Rang the doorbell. She answered it herself. Oversized sunglasses. Cucumber water. Looked like I'd interrupted a UN summit. I held up the hose. Lose something. She didn't miss a beat. Oh, that. I assumed it was part of the community utility system. For shared hydration. My lawyer said rural water can be considered communal in emergencies. Emergency? I blinked. Filling your 50,000-gallon koi pond ain't a natural disaster. She rolled her eyes. You have so much water. I have so many amenities. It just makes sense. We should be neighbors, not hoarders. Lady, you built a fence taller than my hayloft and reported my scarecrow for looking hostile. I told her to remove the hose or I'd press charges. She smirked. You'll need a warrant. That night, I sat on the porch with Little Duke, nursing a beer and watching the stars. Nadine wasn't just stealing my water. She was stealing my patience, my labor, and my literal lifeblood. Out here, water is gold. She wanted to play games? Fine. I was done playing defense. If she wanted water, she was going to get it with a little ranch flavor. By the 3rd sip, I had a plan. If she wanted to keep stealing my water, I'd let her. Except the water she'd get wouldn't be the filtered stuff my livestock drank. I'd create a cowboy cocktail mix that smelled like regret, stung like karma, and stained pool tiles forever. Next morning, I called up my buddies Tucker and Ray. Tucker once built an irrigation system out of beer cans. Ray once duct-taped a rooster to a weasel trap. Creative sabotage? That was their love language. When I told them what Nadine had done, Tucker spit his coffee. She's what? Using your spigot for spa water. Ray shook his head. That's low. Real low. We got to work. Manure. Deer blood. Cayenne oil. The Trinity. It wasn't lethal, not monsters. But it would make her wish she'd taken up knitting. We buried a fake tank under the old tool shed and rerouted her siphon hose. The real water tank got a shiny new security valve locked up tighter than Fort Knox. Nadine wouldn't notice. Her pool boy never paid attention. By sunrise, the stench from our special tank made vultures gag. The cocktail had fermented like witch's stew, sun-roasted cow pies, fresh deer blood, and cayenne oil so strong it could deter wild hogs. We piped it through her siphon. Used a pressure equalizer. Ray added a motion-triggered camera to catch the show. Around noon, her gardener showed up. Tiny electric truck. Headphones in. Humming. He flipped the valve. Brown-red sludge surged through the hose. Her fountain went first. Crimson liquid bubbled up like demonic chili. Cherubs belched sludge. The gardener gagged. Karen screamed. She came flying out the house in a white robe, spa jets having just sprayed her with Cayenne-laced death water. She leapt into the koi pond. Bad choice? Same mix. Birds scattered. Fish dove. Sheriff Dotson showed up 20 minutes later, sipping sweet tea. She poisoned me, Nadine yelled, holding a mason jar of sludge. Dotson looked at it, then me. How'd this get on your property? He's pumping it through my emergency hydration line. Hydration line? I pulled out my folder. Photos, water bills, notarized property map, and a laminated sign that read, Private water. Not for public use. Contents unsanitary. Violators assume all risk. Dotson flipped through. Nodded. Well, ma'am, looks like you've been stealing. She sputtered. He has so much. Dotson, and now you got what you asked for. She couldn't admit theft, not with me holding documents and HOA bylaws that clearly stated private utilities needed written consent. That night, her backyard lit up like a NASA launch pad. Hazmat suits. Floodlights. Workers drained her fountain and scrubbed everything. But she wasn't done. Next morning, every mailbox had a letter, Emergency HOA Resolution 14B. She was trying to make the theft retroactively legal. Tucker read it out loud, then used it to light the fire pit. She'd gone full tilt. 2 guys in vests showed up digging a trench right where her siphon used to run. They claimed it was a utility upgrade. I asked for a permit. They left so fast they forgot their lunch. We fortified. Motion-triggered sprinklers with liquefied alpaca manure. Dummy cameras with blinking red lights. Lil Duke marked the perimeter himself. 2 nights later, the sprinklers triggered. 2 men. Tool belts. Screaming. One fell in the trench. Swampbeard. The other knocked himself out on a dummy post. Dotson showed up again, chewing a donut. Karen says you're harassing her. With sprinklers. He shrugged. They got what they earned. Karen made a video. Dramatic music. Cried on camera. Claimed I was a water terrorist. The internet roasted her. Memes. Parodies. Remixes. Stinky Spawn Nadine trended. She fired back with fake cease-and-desist letters. Claimed supporting me was aiding rural extremism. I posted flyers, screenshots, viral videos, a disclaimer that read, play stupid games, win spicy prizes. Then came Bonnie Red from the Texas Department of Environmental Health. She inspected everything. I showed her the Real tank, the fake tank, the signs, the footage. We walked to Nadine's yard. She was in a robe and face mask. Bonnie, I need a water sample. The test strip turned crimson. Bonnie, high organic content. Unauthorized siphon. Violations pending. Nadine, but I'm on the HOA board. Bonnie. That doesn't override property law. Nadine turned pink. This isn't over. Bonnie. If she escalates, we go to civil court. HOA revoked her easement. Facebook turned against her. New memes, Karen stew spicy with notes of failure. I filed a civil suit. Didn't need a lawyer. Just the truth. She paced the property, binoculars in hand. Shouted, hope your well runs dry. I waved. Switched to habanero extract. Then came the auction. Her estate hit the block. I showed up in boots and bought the whole thing. She tried to sabotage it with raccoons. Didn't work. Lil Duke rounded them up like a boss. We turned the place into a dog splash park called the Hydrant. Tucker and Ray helped repurpose everything. Neighbors pitched in. Community spirit bloomed. I added a plaque to the new water tank. Seal again, and the next mix includes skunk juice. Below it, a photo of Nadine's horrified face in her ruined robe. Sometimes justice isn't served in court. Sometimes it's spicy, muddy, and smells faintly of cow pies. And out here, that's just how we like it.